Hello there everyone, Ashen Flash here, and welcome on into a LEGO Batman Arkham Asylum video. I've had so many people asking me about the rest of the videos, when are they coming, and was just so much going on that I figured, you know what, let's do a countdown to the release of Arkham Asylum on Tuesday the 9th. And I thought this is a very important video to start things off because I'm going to reference this video and so many future ones here that I'm going to be working on over the next few days about Arkham. We're going to go over and talk about what and who is missing from the set. And there's quite a lot to go through. There are time codes and chapters if you want to hop around to specific topics and sections. The first thing here that I think we need to talk about is the who's missing from it. And this is, again, broken up into chunks, but the most shocking exclusion for me is Two-Face. If you look up the impressive lineup for the set, there's notably one character missing from the 2006 to 2008 lineup of villains, and that is Two-Face. And it is really, really sad to me that he did not make the cut here. I really am baffled by that decision. I think that I honestly would have preferred him over some of the Bat family members, just to say, here's everyone. And I think that would have been a really impressive feat for this set, that it's just missing by such a small little sliver here. And it wouldn't have even taken them that much. Like, they could have just taken the jumpsuit that appears in the rest of the set and taken the Two-Face head and hair from the tumbler from earlier this year and just thrown it in here. Heck, even, you want to go one step further, make it more Arkham-y, color the hair in black, I think would have been really cool as well. I actually got to interview the person in charge of LEGO superheroes, and I have an answer about why Two-Face was excluded, and that's going to be a separate video, so stay tuned for that. But also, the other two missing that I think is Nightwing and Batgirl over Batwing and Batwoman, because if you go back, again, this whole set is this love letter to the original theme. That's who was predominantly featured in, well, the original Arkham Asylum set with Nightwing, but then also in the video game with Batgirl. So I think those two should have been more important to include here. Again, I have answers for why they aren't here, but obviously the villains being excluded here as well has a very long list of people. If you want to continue from the video games, you obviously have Killer Moth, Man-Bat from the specific teams, but also, more importantly, the Mad Hatter. I think that it's a real shame that he was not included here in the set, because for a number of reasons. Number one, I know that there seems to be something that LEGO doesn't want to touch the Mad Hatter when it comes to even Disney. There hasn't been anything for Alice in Wonderland, and here they're just avoiding him, and they must hear us. There's no way they aren't hearing us talk about how much we want him, and it's such a shame that he's not included. Clayface has a ton of different references throughout the set, and I think getting him physically would have been really cool as well. I think he's long overdue as a minifigure. Like, they know that we want the classic 2008 version of him. Batman has a huge rogues gallery, but I think the two that I would want the most that come to mind, again, continuing from the video game, Hush would have been really cool, as well as I think Scarface and the Ventriloquist is probably the one that I look at this the most, and I'm like, they needed to be here. Even if it was just Scarface, that would have gone such a long way for sure. I think another really fun one would be Lockup. Just, we got that tile from the Gotham City skyline, and I think it would have been fitting to have him here, whether as a villain or actually a part of the Arkham Staff, which is the next thing I want to talk about. I think Aaron Cash should have been here. I know that we got him in the LEGO Batman movie one, but it would have been really nice to have him here. Dr. Harleen Quinzel is another one that I've seen so many people talk about missing out here. And I agree, I think that she should have been here. I think it would have been really easy to just include as the swappable head her jester hat and the face from the Batman the Animated Series sets, so that she could become Harley Quinn. Hugo Strange is another one that would have been really well appreciated, I think. He's still relatively cheap because he was in a minifigure series, so I really recommend getting him. And Dr. Jonathan Crane would have been really cool as well for the first time. I think getting him working at Arkham would have been fun. And again, you could include a Scarecrow mask for him to put on or something like that as well. Now, obviously, the most missed thing I think that a lot of people are commenting is the outfits. Just getting everybody in their regular outfits instead of a ton of people being in the jumpsuits. And realistically, the price for this, you don't even want to know what that would become with the amount of new prints that they'd have to include here. We did this, and I've shown this before, but here's just a bunch of stats about Arkham. It really is on one of the higher tiers for the rest of the superhero modulars, and has a ton of new prints and minifigures here. It has the most prints out of any of the modulars. So wanting more from that, I don't agree with. Now, when it comes to the choices they picked for the characters in the full outfits. I think the only other person that I look at and I'm like wishing they were in their regular outfit would have been Scarecrow. And the only reason for that is because of the original villain lineup from the 2006 Arkham was Poison Ivy, Riddler, and Scarecrow. So it would have been cool if he was in his regular outfit. I think for him, though, when it comes to this set, he needed a hood or a hat or something like that on top of him, which will be a separate video, again, actually upgrading the figures from the set. Now, moving over to the build, I think there's a lot here that I have to talk about. And for me, the biggest miss thing is the personalized cells. I think that was something going into this that I was really looking forward to. Obviously, the only one that is personalized is Ivy's, with all of the plants growing out of it, and even the floor color has changed. But I think that doing more would have gone a long way, whether it is like hay on the floor for Scarecrow, like we see in the 2006 version. Even if it was referencing characters that aren't in the set, like a wall full of the individual calendar days or something. Having posters on the inside for the Iceberg Lounge, or something small to that extent. I just think that they're too generic for each of them. And I understand the thinking of, well, that means that you could put the characters in whatever cells because there's more inmates than there are cells. On the outside, you may not have noticed, but there's no lamppost, which is a bit of a shame because this is a modular and it's also a part of the Superheroes modular lineup, and it doesn't have that. Granted, it is an inverted corner modular, so I'm not sure exactly where you would put that. It would cover up the gate. I just thought that's interesting to note. There's also no pieces to actually fix all of the brokenness of the set, which I think is very interesting. Unlike all of the other ones where you can fix the damage done to the structures. Granted, it's not as noticeable, like there's nothing on the front like that. But again, I have a response for that too in my interview. But there's a few things here as well that, as a fan of the Arkham games, I think I would have really loved, like lines on the floor, something small like that, just leading to the different sections and rooms would have been really cool. Having chattering teeth on the floor would have been a fun little reference, as well as the most notable thing missing here is a Riddler trophy. I am so sad that there's no Riddler trophy included here, and I know that that piece from the Lego Batman movie has since retired, but it would have been perfect to get here. This is such a simple build here. And just hiding this up in the attic or literally anywhere in the set, even in the hole in the ground, I think would have been so perfect. If you didn't know, inside of the set, there's actually the shelf with a couple different references included. And I think that you probably could have put a second shelf above that. And there's a lot that I would have loved to see included here from different things. Like, I think like a Scarface puppet would have been really great to have here on the shelf. I think a Riddler trophy. Included in the set is a teacup on top of a plate. And I like to think that this is a reference to the Mad Hatter, but I think a really direct one would have been including his hat. And there's actually, from Wicked, the dark green hat that I think would work really well to include here, or hidden around the rest of Arkham. I think that this just would have meant so much to overall. I don't think that this is as bad as some of the other previous modulars in terms of stuff that's missing. But I'd love to hear your thoughts and comments. Like, who would you pick ideally for the minifigure lineup for the set? Who do you think is most missing? Do you wish that there was a reference to something specific that I didn't mention? Anyways, be sure to subscribe, turn the bell notifications so that you don't miss out on the future Lego Arkham Asylum videos releasing very soon here. Hope you guys did enjoy the video. Hope you all have a great day. I will see you all in the next one.